I'm getting a lot of violent comments on YouTube on the videos right now. People are worried about this one guy that had a little fight because someone almost killed him. But I've got people talking about mass murder. People that are suggesting and endorsing mass murder. Talking about taking 18-wheelers and driving over random bikers. I had another guy that commented about throwing stuff out the window at random bikers, not because they did anything. And that's an important thing. We went from a guy defending his family to people talking about mass murder and just senseless violence. That's what I'm afraid of. I'm much more afraid of someone who would put an end to my life, and I haven't done anything to them, than I am for one guy who would get upset because I almost hit him. If I almost hit somebody and it's by accident, that doesn't give you the right to come and attack me. But again, I'm much more fearful of someone who would be violent unprovoked, which is what a lot of people seem to be like, because I'm looking at the comments and people are talking about doing stuff unprovoked to bikers simply because they are bikers. This is just like back in the slavery days and just after slavery, when simply walking around and having a dark complexion could allow you to be in a situation where you're getting antagonized and things like that. I mean, that's back in the days where a dark-skinned guy could look at a light-skinned woman the wrong way, and next thing you know, he's in jail for rape, and he didn't do anything. And that's where we're at right now. So if you guys got proof, bring the video forward, I'll put it out there, and we'll put an end to this. If I don't hear anybody respond to me, and if nobody shows me any proof, then I'm going to assume that the riders are guilty, and then I'm going to move on to defending the riding community and letting people know that we have all types of people riding bikes. Police, firemen, professionals, fathers, mothers. You got people's kids out there, people's sons and daughters. I know a lot of you guys are out there, you're listening, some of your kids ride motorcycles. Your husband rides a motorcycle. Your wife rides a motorcycle. All kinds of people are riding motorcycles. Yes, you got bad apples out there, but you got bad apples in every type of vehicle. Every type of vehicle. It's not just a motorcycle thing. You've got a lot of people on the road, they're not signaling, they're running red lights, they're speeding, they're driving while intoxicated, and these people are in cars, vans, trucks. I've almost been run off the road twice by trucks. 2 18-wheelers almost ran me off the road for no reason. This is the kind of world that we live in, but yet we want to focus on motorcycles. And the thing about it is, you have to realize that a lot of motorcyclists are under pressure right now. The police are out there harassing us. You know, on my commute, I actually had a chain that was broken, and I ended up in handcuffs and accused of spraying graffiti on a wall. This was a New York police officer, state police, that did this. Never been in handcuffs before, and all of a sudden I'm in handcuffs. And supposedly somebody made some call about somebody spraying graffiti. I mean, it is always a story, right? The bottom line is I had done nothing, and I ended up in a back of a police car for 45 minutes for no reason. Then a police officer lies on the radio to dispatch and made some claim about I was spraying stuff on the bike or whatever because my hands were black with the oil from the chain. And he didn't even try to investigate, by the way. When he came, I told him why are you there? I tell him why. He didn't even try to investigate. Then I'm leaving a police officer's funeral and I got pulled over, wasn't breaking any rules, and I get given a bunch of nonsense tickets. No headlight on in the daytime. No headlight on in the daytime. And then I get a ticket for wearing headphones while riding a motorcycle. These are nonsensical tickets. I showed the guy the funeral program from the police officer who I did not know personally. I only went there because that's the thing about the riding community that a lot of people don't realize. We are a community, we are a brotherhood, and we do a lot of charity and things like this where I went to the funeral of somebody I didn't even know just because of the fact that they ride on two. That's the kind of people we are. I've paid the toll for people behind me, strangers. I go to the toll booth, I see a biker behind me I've never met before. I've paid their toll. I'll say, hey man, I'm paying for the guy behind me too. Don't even know the guy. That's what we do. How many people in cars do that kind of stuff? That's the kind of people that are on bikes. But we want to focus on the guys that are doing wheelies in the street and speeding and all this kind of stuff, you know, but there's all kinds of riders out there. But the most important thing about those two stories with the police officers is all this happened before this incident. So if that kind of discrimination was going on to bikers and someone like myself, well-spoken, professional, and I'm getting harassed, what do you think about the other riders? And that was before this incident. Now, ever since last night, I've been hearing a lot of reports of riders being harassed and giving a bunch of nonsense tickets. They're doing more of these illegal checkpoints, which they've been doing before. And that's the situation we're in right now. And I want to fight against that. If you guys got proof of what happened, you present the video. And if you don't present the video, I'm going to assume you guys are guilty, and I'm going to move on to focusing on the other issues that the entire community is dealing with. We've got riders all over the country, all over the world. There are a lot of pressure. A lot of people are looking at us very negatively as a result of that incident. And on a final note, I want to again clarify, Hollywood Stunts is not a gang, is not a group, is not a club. The news media has it wrong. The event that people are talking about did not occur on that day. It was canceled. If you look at the video, no one was doing any stunts. It's a stunt ride. Guys do stunts on the ride. If you look at the video, they weren't even speeding. They were not speeding. They were not doing any stunts. So clearly, that was not the stunt ride. But yet everyone's focusing on this fictitious group that doesn't exist, and the media's just going with it and spinning with it. Motorcycles. Yeah, anything to sell a paper. Anything to make a buck. Meanwhile, our lives are being threatened as a result of this kind of situation. I've got racist comments. All the racist guys are coming out and making their racist comments about that. A lot of people talking about mass murder. Oh, they should run over all the riders and suggesting things to do to riders. Things to do to riders, motorcycles, and property. All this stuff is coming from the real animals and the real threats to society. We like the convenience of pointing out on particular groups as usual. I don't know when we're going to get beyond that and stop trying to oppress and segregate and focus on groups rather than behavior and individuals. Let's hold individuals accountable for their actions and stop trying to point fingers and put the blame on groups. So if you've got a video that proves what this SUV driver did, step forward. If you don't step forward, then my assumption is that you guys are guilty and you're on your own.
You're watching Carlisle's Picks.